What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about Toshi today. Hit that like button, subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and let's get into it, you guys. Here we are on this, the 12th of May. Up 15% today. You were up a whole lot more at one point, weren't you? From an open to a high, you were all the way up at like 35%. Looks like you're finding some resistance, and that's okay, you guys. It's pretty damn common to find resistance here because from a high to a low, you are right at your golden ratio zone, right? You went right into it. Just into it there, found some resistance, and now you're back down. It's very common to go from your golden ratio to your 0.5 and then up, or your 382 and then up. So if Toshi goes all the way down to 30512, just understand that you're fine. You'd actually be in a nice kind of higher low trajectory there as well. So don't even worry about it if that happens. I'm not thinking that happens, but it could. It's something that you should be aware of, right? Last time that you were here in the RSI, whenever you saw readings that were pretty high, and you consolidated, you did see an overall high to low pullback of about 40%. From that same kind of, or applying that same kind of maneuver here, you know, that's what you'd get. 3 zeros, just below 306 right there, right? Something like that could happen. And that is where you found support here. Whenever you just saw from a high to a low drop, you saw a 22% drop right there. Almost a 23% drop. You did find turbulence around the 0.5, which is what we were expecting, but I didn't expect that you'd move up this fast to the golden ratio if you found turbulence here. I would have thought you consolidated some more, go to your 382 and then up, but whatever, man. You're in this very bullish trajectory. This was an option that we did consider as happening, but I wouldn't have expected it. After we found the turbulence here, I wouldn't have expected it, so good job. You continue to run at a very phenomenal pace, but I do think your run is going to be put on pause for a second, right? What we've done here is we've broken out of this downtrend, right? You broke out. A lot of cryptos have been doing this where they break out, they're flirting with their 236 or their 382, and then they get their real breakout move that takes them to the golden ratio, right? We've been seeing that across the board. This was just Toshi's turn, right? If anybody hasn't picked up on it by now, you're going to pick up on it as time goes on, but you'll notice that things are taking their turns, right? Some coins have done this already, have literally broken out of their downtrend, moved sideways for like a couple of weeks or a month or so or whatever, and they've broken out, whether it took 1 week, whether it took a month, however long it took. There's a bunch of coins that have done this exact thing already. There are a bunch of coins that still have yet to do this but are going to do this week. So I'm just saying, good job, Toshi. Good job, Toshi. It was your turn. It was your time. Here you are all the way up at like a 90 read, 92 read, something like that on the RSI. It's very, very powerful stuff. Don't be surprised if you get a little bit of turbulence here. And you really could. I don't think you do, but you could from here drop another, 40% or so, all the way down to 30512. It's very possible. So just accept that as a possibility. Don't be scared of it. Don't accept it as a reality. We don't know what's going to happen yet, but just accept that. And I don't know if you bought any of this, but shout out to Ethan Galstad. Ethan, I'm pretty sure you bought some of this, or at least I know you were, one of the last videos that I watched about you were talking about Toshi. So I'm hoping you got some of this. I'm hoping that some of the E-Gang crew bought some of this as well, because I think that this is a good play especially for the people who've been affected negatively by the Grayscale Trust, man. The Grayscale is just, they don't care about their investors, man. They really don't. They just care about the private placements. They make money. That's one thing, but at your expense, guys. But here we are from a high to low, and I think a lot of the Grayscale Trusts are actually going to come up and see new all-time highs anyways. But you've been put through the ringer, man. And anyways, high to lows, not being through the ringer here, maybe for a time, but not a whole year. Whenever it comes to growth, whenever it does come to growth, I think that inevitably this move will carry on higher. You will see 0.0045 to 1 cent, somewhere in that area, which will be about this number. It's miraculous and sad at the same time. You guys remember, right? This minimum target now is a 5x from here. And we were talking about it whenever it was like a 20x. You remember, like, just crazy. Or for the longest time, we were talking about it when it was at least a 10x. Right now that move is a 5x, right? It's crazy how much that changes. We're not even like halfway through this move yet. 5x at a minimum. I do think that you'll stop somewhere around 007, somewhere around there, maybe just below, maybe just above, but something on the lines like an 8.5x left to go for Toshi. And if not there, then maybe you do go all the way up to 1 cent itself, and from here you still have a 12x potential. That is a pretty impressive feat of accomplishment right there, because from a low to 1 cent, that would be about a 52x, and that's pretty nuts, but it's alt season, baby. We might see some crazy things. Who knows? You might even see crazier things. I don't know. I don't think you go above that. I'd be surprised if you even went to 1 cent, but it is a consideration to make. We haven't even talked about higher prices than that, but I don't know if we get there by the end of June or early July. I am expecting 0.0045 to 1 cent by the end of June, if not early July. So if you had fun here, just wait. There's more fun to come. A lot more fun to come. In that same aspect, like anybody who bought, let's say you even bought the high here, right? You're already up 80%. You still got a whole nother like 700% to go, man. From here, right? The multipliers are different because obviously it's at a lower price there, so you're going to get more multiples if you're starting at a lower price, less if you're starting at a higher price. Let's keep going. Let's keep going. 1 hour time frame here. Let's see. A little bit of a double top there on the RSI. Nice. Okay, so yeah, so you got overbought, bounced off the overbought zone and stopped here. That probably is a stopping point, right? You've cooled way the hell off on the RSI already. Who's to say that you can't start moving higher immediately? But you did, with this candle, the initial candle, that was above average volume. With the next candle, the follow-through candle, you got extra volume coming in there. It's not as much volume as it was on your way up, but still it's enough. I think you do consolidate a little bit more. You probably do come back down and find support at this prior area of resistance. So something at like 3075. 3075 sounds about right, at least at a minimum. So not financial advice, not a financial advisor from here. If you're looking to get into TOSHI, maybe just wait for like another 10% drop or so. Not financial advice, not a financial advisor. It could drop lower than that. And it could pump from here. And if it pumps from here, you just clap and you say, good job. I wish I could have caught you, tried to catch you at these lows. Didn't happen. You're too bullish. You just kept running. I think that you do consolidate a little bit though, personally. I think you'll see something like this where you go below the 50, if not to the 50. I would think even below, maybe go to the 40. You might see like the lowest readings on your RSI that you've seen in a second, which will be fine. That's a good thing, not a bad thing. Cool off, 4 hour time frame here. If we're looking at this, let me just see real quick from a high to a low. 1886, that 1886-200 area keeps coming up, you guys. I don't know why, but it keeps coming up. With this look in mind, actually, I'll come back to the 1 hour. It is possible that you could find support right here. It's pretty common once you get above the golden ratio, right? Once you find resistance at any of these kind of fibs, when you pull back, it's pretty common to find support at the 1272 actually, or any of these fibs, these extensions along the way. So you could find support, and your RSI has cooled off enough, man. If you do find support here, you might move up immediately and get some real bearish divergence going on, right? See some kind of double top action like that maybe, and then you'll actually consolidate. So don't get too excited if we move up here. I don't think that if you were to move up, you're going to go dramatically, fantastically higher, but you never know, man. I could be wrong. These things can defy gravity at times, and it certainly seems to be doing that now. But here you are breaking the veil between the 1272 there. So at least, yes, down to like 3075 would be the expectation here. If we're looking at this on a 4 hour basis, we're taking in the context of this whole move here from a low to a high. The expectation would be at least to go to 30765, if not likely, the higher likelihood would be 3065 and maybe even just below there. It's very common with the 382 to go just below it when finding support and then above it, but it's also very common, pretty damn common when you're in a powerful move to pull back and find support right at the 382. So either way, something around 3065. That's what I'm personally expecting, but there is enough reasons, there's enough causality to find support at 3075 as well, 3076. So even if you go a little bit below that line, I think you're fine. Just don't go too much. If you go too much below it, if you see something that's below like 307, probably like below 3075, I would say then that yeah, it's inevitable that you go to 3065. Okay, that's the expectation. So if you sold here, and you didn't catch this last pump, I think if you're patient, you can wait and you can get a second chance to double dip back in there. Oh, look at that bearish divergence on the 4 hour. I didn't even notice that bearish divergence on the 4 hour time frame. That would call for a move right back there to 0007. And oftentimes with bearish divergence, not only do you go where the divergence started, but you go a little bit through it. What's a little bit through it? That 382 right there, man. I'm calling it 3065. You're going to go right there. And because it's so obvious, I wouldn't be surprised if you found support even a little bit above that. But something in that area. Yeah. Cool off on the 4 hour, cool off on the 1 hour. Let's look at the daily time frame. Just fantastic. You're going to have to cool off on the daily time frame too, man. Yeah. You're going to have to. You can't, because you're already at the 90. What are you going to do? You're not going to break through 100. You can't break through 100. It's a limit. Inevitably, you will go higher. A little bit of turbulence now. Yeah, look at that, right? This area here was where you found support time and time again, and that was right at about 3062. I'm calling for 3065, so somewhere between 3062 and 3065 is where you're going to go before launching higher. Don't expect that it's going to be a moment like this or you move down and then you rip. It's not going to be like that. I would expect that this next week at least is going to be a consolidation week, okay? However it looks, consolidating to the downside, you tip it and then you consolidate to the upside. However it looks, I think you will rip to the upside in a matter of time. Probably no time at all. By the end of this month, you certainly will be at higher prices. You'll probably flirting with your all-time high area at this rate. But if you were to consolidate for the rest of the month, don't get your feelings hurt, right? You could consolidate for a pretty long time, and then I would expect end of the month you do see some kind of movement up. It wouldn't surprise me if you saw this exact kind of phase of consolidation between now and the end of the month. But we'll see. We'll see. Expect it to be boring. Bulls had their fun. The Toshis went on parade, and now they're a little bit tired. They're going to take a break. And if I'm wrong, man, if I'm wrong, you'll be at new all-time highs by the end of this week. Because if you're not stopping here, you got a lot of momentum behind you. You could definitely carry on to like 2-0-1-3, 2-0-2, something in that area. But that would be nuts. That would be nuts. And even if you were to carry on there, I would still expect that you pull back to this area. But I don't think that you will carry on there because, again, this 4-hour time frame, you got 52 minutes left, moving down with the purpose, volumes coming in, bearish divergence. I mean, I'm super confident. I'm not confident in the amount of time it takes to consolidate. Maybe it doesn't take a week. Maybe it takes 2. Maybe it takes 1 day. I don't know. The timing is the hardest part. But what I am confident in is the price. You're going to go below 307, probably around 3065, okay? I got nothing else for you guys. Hit the like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. I'll see you on the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.